Namaste yogis, welcome to today's practice. In this class today we are going to be going over our Virabhadrasana I, also known as our Warrior One. So just as we did for our Utkatasana chair pose, we're going to come into our Warrior One from our standing Tadasana pose. So there are a few different ways that you can traditionally come into your Warrior One, and one of those being your Tadasana Mountain pose. So meeting in your Tadasana Mountain pose, just give yourself a moment to make sure that the body is coming into a state of awareness and noticing the connection that you have between yourself and the earth beneath you. Just orientating yourself in space and connecting with the body and with the breath. And as you're ready to do so, we're going to go ahead and come into our Warrior One by stepping the right foot back about 4 to 5 feet. Again, you can look at the video for reference and see whereabouts my feet positioning are. But we want to make sure that we're in a stance that is not too short and that is either also not too long. So one of the ways that we can make sure that our stance isn't either too short or too long is to check for the alignment of the front leg. So we want to make sure that that left knee is directly over the left ankle here. So as you step back then, or looking at the video, you want to make sure that the ankle is directly underneath the knee, and that our back foot is straight. So as we settle into our stance, there are a few things that we want to go over here. So the first one being is making sure that that back foot is at a 45-degree angle. So you could go ahead and look back at that back foot and just double check that that back foot is at a 45-degree angle, and that the pinky toe of that back foot is pressing down as best as you can. So with that alignment at the right foot, we also want to make sure that the front heel and that the back heel are directly in line. Now, an alternative here is that if we are not that open within the hips yet, we can practice stepping that back foot over towards the right just a little bit, widening our stance and just seeing if that feels a little bit better in the body. We want to also check the front foot. Now that the back foot is covered, we just want to make sure that that front foot, as I mentioned earlier, that the left ankle is directly underneath the left knee, and we want to make sure that we're externally rotating that left knee. And as we externally rotate that left knee, we want to see that the hips are driving towards the front. So what I mean by that is that the left hip is drawing back as the right hip is drawing forward. Now with the lower half of our body pressing down and towards the earth in this way, we want to bring our awareness again to our navel, to our core, and make sure that the core is strong, that the core is active. And then as for the upper half of our body, we want to bring our awareness to our navel, to our core, and just make sure that the core is engaged and that we are lengthening within the spine, that we are drawing the shoulders away from the ears as we lift the arms up overhead. So with the arms overhead, they can either stay apart, and the hands can stay shoulders distance apart, or we can also bring the palms together. For the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and keep the arms apart, but again, then we want to bring the gaze forward and in front. So once all of these points are set in place, we just want to maintain our awareness and our focus on this pose, noticing the quality of our breath with each moment. And as you're ready to do so, to come out of this pose, we're going to simply shift our weight forward as we step the back foot towards the front, meeting back in our Tadasana mountain pose. So that about does it for this posture. Again, you want to go ahead on your own time and repeat the same process on the right side. The only difference being that instead of stepping that right foot back, we are stepping the left foot back, but everything that I mentioned about the back foot and about the front foot and also within the upper body remains the same. So as you're ready to do so, you can go ahead and step that left foot back and make sure again that your heels are in alignment and that that back foot is at a 45-degree angle, and that pinky toe of that left foot is sealing down towards the earth beneath you. Again, just noticing the heel to heel alignment between the front foot and the back foot. And if you need to do so, you can step that left foot out towards the left a little bit. And over time, again, we will work our way towards that heel to heel alignment. And just noticing the front leg, we want to make sure that that right ankle is directly underneath the right knee, and that right knee is externally rotating as we also make sure that the right hip draws back and that the left hip draws forward. And then we want to, now with our left foot set, with our right knee directly over the right ankle, and with our right hip and with our hips shifting towards the front, we want to bring our awareness to the abdomen, to the core, again engaging through the belly, lengthening through the lower spine, and lifting through the sternum as we allow the hands to rise up overhead. And again, palms can stay together or the hands can stay apart, shoulder distance. And for the sake of this practice, we're going to go ahead and keep the arms, shoulders distance apart. And from here, just allowing the gaze to, we can gaze forward and in front, but again, for the sake of this video, we're going to keep the hands, we're going to keep the gaze forward and in front. And as you're ready to do so, to come out of this pose, we're going to go ahead and step that back foot towards the front, meeting back in our Tadasana mountain pose. And from here, just giving yourself a moment to notice any changes that have taken place as a result of this practice, as a result of this pose, and just knowing that you can always practice this on your own time. So thank you for joining me in this practice, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.